he will officially be arraigned on manslaughter charges will be determined later. I will tell you that a lot of questions surrounding this case as to why manslaughter charges may apply. We'll hear from a legal expert coming up tonight on Eyewitness News at 5, as well as surveillance video from the time surrounding this incident. Reporting live in the Claremont section of the Bronx, Darla Miles, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Darla. Well, police in Westchester County continue to look for a man missing in the Hudson River. Authorities say 3 friends went fishing off Croton Point Park in Croton on the Hudson. When one of them decided to go swimming, he jumped in the water and never surfaced. Newscopter 7 is over the search scene right now. Let's check in with Shannon Sohn. Shannon.
Yeah, David, you can see where emergency services has set up here at Tellers Point. Tellers Point being the furthest most point at Croton Point Park that juts out into the Hudson River. And you can see that the topography here really making this a difficult rescue mission. This is where your local police department and fire department are setting up, but there's quite a hill that they have to get all of their equipment down to from that point. As you mentioned, these 3 friends were fishing. One of them went into the water and never resurfaced. But we're going to bring this shot out a little bit. And you look at the water. You can see the current here. It's very choppy just because of the way this land juts into the water. Because of the rough current here, swimming is prohibited in this area. At this point, they've got aviation units overhead. They had them here for quite some time. We have local PD and aviation as well as Marine units searching for this missing man, a 47-year-old from Brooklyn. At this point, they have not found him yet, and all of this happened at about 11 o'clock this morning. We are being told that they will call off the search at dusk, and it will resume again tomorrow if they don't find him before then. Reporting live over Tellers Point, Shannon Sohn, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Shannon. Well, the Westchester on that search, and we'll monitor this and bring any new developments.
Well, we are learning more today about a teenage victim of gun violence in Brooklyn. The young man was one of several caught up in shootings across the city over the holiday weekend. This one happened at the Howard houses in the Brownsville section. The teen is alive, but he is now dealing with some very serious injuries. Eyewitness News reporter NJ Burkett is in Brownsville with the story. NJ.
That's right, Liz, outside Brookdale Hospital here in Brownsville, where the victim remains in intensive care this afternoon. But the fact that he is alive at all is nothing short of amazing. This shooting happened on Sunday night about 8:30. He's playing basketball outside his grandmother's apartment complex when somebody opened fire from the sidewalk. One of the bullets went clear through the neck of Rasha Sheed Stallworth, just 19 years old, visiting his grandmother at the time of the shooting. Officers from Housing Police PSA 2 are now patrolling this afternoon amid concerns about gun violence from people who live in the Howard houses. Relatives say Rasha Sheed was an innocent bystander simply in the wrong place at the wrong time on Sunday night. The gunshot wound has made it impossible for him to speak, but his cousin told us he uses pen and paper now to communicate and that he's just grateful to be alive.
He's writing on paper. Still, sense of humor, high, everything. He's good. He's all right. You know what I mean? Just praying. He's still holding on strong.
Relatives are still obviously very concerned about Rasha Sheed's condition. Again, he remains in intensive care this afternoon. No arrest in this case so far, but residents tell me that gunfire is not uncommon in and near the Howard houses. We'll have much more on that part of the story because they're very worried. Coming up on Eyewitness News at 6 o'clock tonight. For now, we're live in Brownsville, Brooklyn. NJ Burkett, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
NJ, thank you. Well, no arrests have been made in the shooting death of a gas station owner in Newark, but police sources say investigators do have a strong lead. 47-year-old Davinder Singh was shot once in the chest yesterday afternoon near the entrance to the station on West Market Street. He was rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Cameras outside the gas station may help identify the gunman.
In politics, Donald Trump clashing with members of the media today as he revealed the charities he says he received money from a veterans fundraiser he held earlier this year. Now, Trump says he raised $5.6 million during the January event, which he held instead of attending a GOP debate. Trump then said reporters should, quote, be ashamed of themselves for trying to get an accounting of the money. When some reporters pushed back, Trump called them losers and dishonest.
People know the stories are false. I'm going to continue to attack the press. Look, I find the press to be extremely dishonest. I find the political press to be unbelievably dishonest. I will say that.
When it comes to the charities that received money, Mr. Trump said he was not too involved in picking the organizations. The largest single contribution was $1.1 million to the Marine Corps Law Enforcement Foundation, which does have a good record. On the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton holding fundraisers in our area today at 5 p.m. She'll be in Midtown and then head to a 7 p.m. event in East Brunswick, New Jersey. Clinton canceled a campaign event in New Jersey later this week as she and Bernie Sanders both concentrate on California. Liz.
Well, an actor who played a cop on television is now a convicted criminal in real life. A jury in Los Angeles today convicted Michael Jace of second-degree murder. Prosecutors say Jace shot his wife in the back and then taunted her before shooting her in both legs. Part of the shooting was witnessed by the couple's young sons. Jace is originally from Paterson, New Jersey. He used to appear on the television series The Shield. Jace now faces up to life in prison. And another failed test is lessening fear today about North Korea's ability to develop a long-range nuclear missile. The Defense Department and the South Korean military both say the latest missile launch attempt appeared to have failed. One media report says the missile exploded on the launch pad. This would be the fourth failed attempt by the North Koreans with the newest missile design.
On Wall Street, stocks kicked off an abbreviated trading week with a sizable loss. Energy stocks took a hit today after a drop in the price of U.S. oil. And out in Houston, Texas, the United Airlines flight was trying to take off from Tampa, Florida when the tire blew out. The situation got worse when the tire caught on fire. Smoke surrounded the plane before firefighters moved in, spraying foam and putting out that fire. Everyone got off the plane safely. No injuries reported.
Well, today we are hearing from the pro soccer player who managed to escape after he was kidnapped. Alan Pulido was taken after a party over the weekend in Mexico. About 24 hours into the kidnapping, somehow he managed to take the gun and a cell phone from his captor and turn the tables on him. After calling Mexico's emergency line, Pulido can be heard threatening and apparently beating his captor into revealing where they were. Police then found him and freed him a short time later.
Amazing. Well, it is the real-life School of Rock, an institution dedicated to teaching the ins and outs of rock music to children. Entertainment reporter Sandy Kenya stopped in for some classes. He's here now with more. Sandy.
Dave, this is one of the fun ones. School of Rock NYC on the Upper East Side takes its name from the movie starring Jack Black, which inspired a Broadway musical that earned 4 Tony nominations earlier this spring. To be in this band on Broadway, a young musician must be among the very best. But your child doesn't have to be a virtuoso to attend the School of Rock NYC. 13-year-old Zoe Minchef and Kiara Carrion, who is 15, are preparing for a live show featuring the music of Aerosmith and Guns N' Roses.
You just learn how to play the guitar really awesome, and they give you the opportunity to play with a band, and it's just you really learn valuable lessons from it, which is really cool.
The curriculum is a mix of private lessons and group rehearsals, which also serve to enhance self-esteem.
When you're with other people and everyone's like, oh, good job, and you kind of like compliment each other and you see how other people are playing, and I think it's kind of over time you give yourself more credit.
Older kids mentor younger ones.
When I began, I was playing very slowly, but the last 8 months, I've been playing a little bit faster.
Christopher Shellbach's mom, Jackie, is one of the school's owners.
There are different age students with different levels of ability.
A drummer who is just beginning might be working with an advanced guitarist. The teachers are all working musicians like Bob Jones.
School of Rock is a place that teaches kids to rock on stage and in live.
I know that you can love me when there's no one left to play.
The young people range in age from 7 to 17. Students are now in the final stages of preparation for concerts to be held downtown on June 11th and 12th. School of Rock NYC will also host summer sessions for young people interested in performing, songwriting, and even recording. Dave, Liz?
I love what one of the instructors says, teaching them how to rock on stage and in life. What more could you
they're
want?
Awesome. You know what's funny to me? A lot of them are 10, 11, 12, and they're playing Led Zeppelin,
I know.
Leonard Skinner,
and loving that music.
Just doing
loving
a great job, right? Thank
Fantastic. All right. Thanks, Sandy. Well, we are getting a look at the progress being made on the massive Hudson Yards construction project. 10 Hudson Yards officially opened its doors today. It is the first office tower to open in the sprawling 28-acre Hudson Yards complex. 10 Hudson is the global headquarters for Coach, and employees are already moving into the new skyscraper there.
Well, new developments in the killing of a gorilla as the focus shifts to the parents of the boy inside the exhibit. The prosecutor speaking out for the first time.
Plus, a search for the gunman who randomly opened fire, leaving a home in Connecticut riddled with bullets.
You saw it live right here, that semi dangling over the Cross Bronx Expressway. Well, this is all that's left of it. Coming up, hear from the crew who raised the semi over the ledge. It's a story you'll only see on Eyewitness News.
Closed captioning.
With friends like Michelle, Rob, and Amy,
it's going to be nice this morning.
You'll have better weekends.
Not bad at all. No storms for now.
And the only place to less,
they're putting in an all-out effort to try and find the shooter. Crime scene investigators here in Norwalk were again at the scene where several gunshots pierced the windows and siding of this two-family house.
It does not happen very often here in Norwalk, these types of incidents. So certainly we're investigating and putting all our resources into it.
The family was at home at the time of the shooting around 12:40 early Monday morning, police say. But now no one answers the door. Neighbor Elmer Mejia remembers hearing the shots.
The gun is bang, bang, maybe 3, 4, 5 times.
Police do not believe the family was a target.
At this time, it appears that it's a random. The folks in there don't appear to have been targeted in this incident. It may well have been an incident that was occurring in the street. It may have been the backdrop, unfortunately, was their house.
Now that this happened, it just puts everybody, I think, on edge.
The street, neighbors say, is quiet, but sometimes is used as a cut-through. What bothers Jennifer Skarupa out walking her dog is the random nature of the gunfire and that a family doesn't seem safe in their own home.
You can't even let your kids out of the house because you don't know who is walking around in the neighborhood. So it's just a scary world out there.
Police are certainly hoping that someone may have seen that shooter flee the neighborhood. Reporting live in Norwalk, Tim Fleischer, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Tim, thank you. Well, the MTA is moving ahead with its testing of 2 new safety systems for buses. After trying them on just a few buses, the MTA is now launching full pilot programs. One sensor system going on 200 buses aims to protect pedestrians, warning people on the street when a bus is turning. The other technology on about 100 buses tries to prevent collisions, of alerting drivers of vehicles and people ahead. The pilot programs are set to run through 2017.
Police in Rockland County say a man stole a boat and took it on a very costly joyride. 24-year-old Eladio Torres of Nanuet faces charges including petty larceny and unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. Stony Point police say he took a 28-foot boat without the owner's consent from a yacht club. The boat sustained about $3,000 worth of damage to its right hull. Federal and state officials are trying to figure out who sent an exploding package to a New York corrections officer's mailbox. The result, it critically injured him. Governor Cuomo visited the 52-year-old prison guard in hospital in Syracuse yesterday. Police say the officer picked up a suspicious package on Sunday and it blew up, burning parts of his body. The governor says it is too early to determine whether the attack is related to the prison guard's job. So far, no arrests have been made.
Well, police are now investigating the circumstances that led to a 4-year-old boy entering a gorillas exhibit at the Cincinnati Zoo. That gorilla, as we now know, was ultimately shot and killed. And this as there is growing outrage at the boy's parents and at the zoo. Eyewitness News reporter Joe Torres is in the newsroom with today's developments. Joe.
Liz, it's not just local authorities launching an investigation now. A federal investigation is planned as well. And while many people agree with the zoo's decision to shoot the endangered gorilla, there remains plenty of criticism aimed not only at the zoo, but the child's parents as well. This morning, the Cincinnati Zoo once again under fire following its decision to put down Harambe, this 17-year-old endangered silverback gorilla.
A child has fallen into the gorilla cage.
Authorities say a 3-year-old boy climbed over a 3-foot barrier and plunged about 15 feet into the moat.
Mommy's right here.
His mother watched in horror from above.
This child was being dragged around. His head was banging on concrete. This was not a gentle thing.
Now an animal rights group wants the federal government to investigate. It claims this railing that separates the crowd from the exhibit, as seen in this video from 2014, is not up to par.
It's really very simple. If there was an adequate public barrier on the gorilla facility, we would not be standing here.
The barriers are safe. The barriers exceed any required protocols.
The zoo maintains it was not negligent. The zookeeper, who has a long relationship with Harambe going back to his grandparents, finds the situation tragic for everyone.
He was in a situation where there's this strange thing here that I don't know what do I do?
The boy's parents are taking heat online. A Change.org petition demands they be held responsible for not supervising their child. It has more than 300,000 signatures. Now, to be clear, police in Cincinnati have said no charges are planned, but authorities are still gathering details about what specifically happened. As for the boy who fell into the enclosure, his family says he is home and, quote, doing just fine. David?
All right, Joe, thanks. A teenager in Connecticut being thanked and praised after saving a young girl from nearly drowning. Kevin Kozak got to meet the 10-year-old girl just days after pulling her from Lake Vernon. The 15-year-old was fishing with friends. When he went for a swim, he found the girl underwater and took her to shore where a man with CPR training helped revive her.
She looked really bad. It looked like she'd been under the water for a long time. Her lips were turning purple. She had some foam kind of coming out of her mouth. Right place, right time, and I could do something about it.
Could be a big tragedy, but thank God. Thank to Allah Almighty that she's with us today.
You can see how appreciative the family is. Kozak says he took action when he realized the girl had been underwater for a long time.
Wow. Well, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie is taking a break from his state duties today to play the role of proud dad. Christie's son Andrew graduated from Princeton University today. Christie posted this photo of his family at the ceremony. And beyond completing a degree, Andrew's other accomplishments include playing on the school's baseball team and interning with the New York Mets.
Wow, congratulations. Absolutely. A medical condition forces a General Hospital star to take some time off. That's coming up.
And Pizza Hut eliminates some ingredients in hopes of improving quality.
Plus, what a woman was wearing that nearly got her banned from a flight.
Like the hair colors, though. I'm meteorologist Lee Goldberg. Nice afternoon. Our temperature right around 80 degrees. Going to be a really nice evening. A little cooler along the coast. Satellite is nice and clear. And if you're headed out this evening, going to be nice and comfortable with temperatures in the upper 70s. Your active weather days this week, they're depicted in the red band. So Friday, we have some thunderstorms to track. And then, of course, Sunday, second half of the weekend, we'll let you know if we think it's a washout or not. Your 7-day AccuWeather forecast next on Eyewitness News First at 4.
Local news. It's what Channel 7 Eyewitness News is all about. Because when something happens where you live, you need to know. Eyewitness News puts experienced reporters in your neighborhood. They know their way around and know what's important to you. With more reporters on the ground, more news vans on the streets, and Newscopter 7 in the air, we can cover more neighborhoods, boroughs, and towns. So wherever you live, it's all local on Channel 7 Eyewitness News. It's time, but your day isn't over. So Eyewitness News helps you get it done. Here, there,
breaking news,
everywhere.
Chaotic scene.
Sade Veteran Diana Williams and Lee Goldberg's AccuWeather forecast.
Coming and getting
when life's
steady.
busy, we make it easy. Only on Eyewitness News at 5.
For this Memorial Day, Honda's celebrating the way Americans celebrate best. With pyrotechnics. Because when you can get a Honda for an incredible holiday deal, we think it's worthy of its own monument. Meet Melt Save More.
Get into KBB.com's best value brand at the Honda Memorial Day sales event.
thirst for the extraordinary. Perrier.
The backyard of my dreams. No matter the event, no matter the season. With Cambridge Paving Stones, our dreams are the life of the party.
And only Cambridge Paving Stones have ArmorTech, our unique process that produces a rich color that will look the same for years to come.
The reality is, with Cambridge, the only limit is your wildest dreams.
Cambridge Paving Stones with ArmorTech, they'll always look like new.
You were born. You live in Westchester. You live in the Hudson Valley. You live in the Bronx. You want world-class medical care without having to travel for it. You have it in Montefiore. With a history of firsts, we're nationally recognized for medical excellence. And with our Albert Einstein College of Medicine, academic and research excellence. And now, state-of-the-art healthcare is just down the road from you. Montefiore, doing more.
4 stories we're following at 4 p.m. Divers are searching for a 47-year-old fisherman who disappeared after going for a swim in the Hudson River. The man was fishing in the waters off of Croton on the Hudson.
A 61-year-old man is expected to be arraigned today after police say he beat a man to death. Investigators say Mamadou Diallo hit 43-year-old Earl Nash with a tire iron after Nash tried to rape his wife.
Jury in Los Angeles convicted actor Michael Jace of second-degree murder for the death of his wife. Jace, who starred in The Shield, faces life in prison.
And a former Chicago police officer was found guilty of a murder-for-hire plot. The jury found Drew Peterson guilty of trying to kill the prosecutor who helped convict him in his third wife's death.
A new warning about the Zika virus. Health officials say sexual transmission of the virus is more common than first thought. The World Health Organization now suggests that women who have been in Zika-prone regions to wait even longer before having a baby. Couples are being asked to wait at least 8 weeks before trying to conceive to ensure the virus has cleared their bodies. Previously, experts suggested a 4-week wait.
Well, Pizza Hut says it is striving for a more natural approach to its menu by getting rid of some preservatives used in its ingredients. The chain announced today that it will stop using meat that includes 2 kinds of preservatives by the end of July. The FDA considers the chemical safe, but some advocacy groups say people should avoid them. Pizza Hut says it will also remove chicken produced with antibiotics and preservatives in cheese by next March.
A star of the ABC soap opera General Hospital has announced she is taking some time off because she is suffering from bad skin. Kirsten Storms sent out this tweet explaining her decision. She says her doctors say her breakouts are due to stress. She says they were getting too difficult for General Hospital to cover up and adds that, as we all know in this business, appearance is important. Storms expects to be out for a few weeks.
Well, JetBlue is apologizing to a burlesque dancer who was denied access to a flight until she changed her clothes. The dancer says the airline told her to change or she couldn't take the flight. She was trying to board wearing striped shorts. The pilot decided it was inappropriate and possibly offensive to other passengers. She ran through the terminal and bought a less revealing outfit. There it is right there.
Greenwich. But look at the southbound side, or the northbound side of 95 rather, coming at you as you come up from the Bronx. This is what you have ahead of you. These delays take you well back into Rye and getting worse by the second. Reporting live over 287, Shannon Sohn, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, Shannon, thank you. Well, a rather unusual rescue mission for firefighters in China. That's what they found right there. They were called to help a man whose head got stuck in a washing machine. Officials say he got stuck while trying to fix the machine's drum. Firefighters had to break apart the machine and free the man. We are told that he is reportedly doing okay. Just a little humiliated. Yes.
We have a sad update. We've been following this man in Westchester County, missing in the Hudson River. He'd gone swimming. We've been following the press conference with the officials there, the county officials, and now they're saying they're treating this as a recovery mission because the man has been under the water for so long. They have not been able to find him, and they believe now they've changed into a new chapter of the way they're going to approach this. We'll continue to follow the very latest on that and bring you updates on ABC7NY as well.
Yeah, it bears reminding. They were saying in that area that swimming is prohibited, and you just got to be so careful. There was a big current going through, and you could see it in some of our live shots there.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there are portions of the Hudson where obviously the geography starts to change sharply, and that influences some of the currents. You know that the water temperatures, even though it might be warmer on the Hudson than it is in the ocean, still can be, disabling. You know, they're really cold. So,
yeah.
All right. So
and they were fishing. We don't know if they were necessarily swimming. They were fishing. So even then, if you wade into the water and there's a current, you got to be careful.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, sad news there. All right. So we'll turn over to our weather situation right now, which obviously is pretty nice. We look outside where we have partly sunny to mostly sunny skies, and try to put May in the books here. Where because it was such a struggle the first 3 weeks, especially the first week, every day below average. Then we got a little warmth at times the second week, and then we took a step back the third week of May, and then we really hit our stride here in late May, and it comes in with a month now through yesterday is actually right on target with normal. So obviously you won't remember it as a normal month, cold start, warm finish, but we made up a lot of ground in the last couple of weeks. So rainfall got a good drenching early yesterday, so the park is only about 0.3 of an inch below average. All right, so in terms of the humidity, which was here in full force over parts of the weekend, that's now suppressed down to the south by this nice high over eastern Canada. So visibility is looking good, not as hazy, little haze there. A little slow on the GWB inbound, by the way, and moving pretty well toward New Jersey. Our temperatures at 80 degrees with the south-southwest wind as we go through or approach the 5 o'clock hour. Numbers along the coast because of the south wind cooled off in Riverhead. It's 83 Belmar, nicely in the middle 80s across interior parts of New Jersey and the Hudson Valley. So we'll see mainly clear to partly cloudy skies overnight. You'll notice patchy clouds at times during the day tomorrow. Should feel comfortable with low humidity and the numbers getting close to 80 during the afternoon hours. Beautiful evening for baseball at Citi Field. Pair of sevens for first pitch as we have interleague. We have Sox playing the Mets tonight at Citi Field. All right, so futurecast looking like this. Middle 60s to start the morning tomorrow, some upper 50s in the coolest spots. You notice a couple of patchy clouds at times, otherwise a mostly sunny day. I think the futurecast is overdoing some of these showers in the Poconos. I mean, that would be a worst case scenario later in the daylight hours. I think we're mainly dry. In terms of boating, nice boating day. Northeasterly wind 5 to 10 knots, 3-foot chop. Water temperatures getting into the low and middle 60s. The rip current risk with the northeast wind should be fairly low. Air quality is moderate. UV index at a high 9. Use the sunblocks, and the pollen count is moderate to high as we go through day tomorrow. Here's your 7-day AccuWeather forecast. 80 tomorrow, a little bit more cloudiness on Thursday, a little humid later in the day, but only 76. Friday's your day, especially from late morning on. We have to deal with showers and storms. That's more likely north. You may not have a washout central and southern New Jersey. On Saturday, better half of the weekend as showers and storms come back on Sunday. That doesn't look like a pretty day. We may be too high with that 78. David and Liz, back to you for now.
All right. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Sounds good.
Here's what's trending on this Tuesday, and the social network giants are uniting to combat hate speech and terrorist propaganda. They got more going on in that respect. Facebook, Twitter, Google, Microsoft, all agreeing to follow the European Commission's new code of conduct aimed at fighting terrorist groups and hate groups that use their services to spread bias and threats. The companies agreeing to screen for the offending posts and remove them within 24 hours of being notified. New York Carmelo Anthony from the Knicks wanted to do the right thing, but he just was not able to do it when he went to go check out a Mets game. Let me tell you a little bit about what happened here. Rather than upsetting Yankee fans by wearing a Mets hat or upsetting Mets fans by wearing a Yankees hat, Anthony put on a cap that split the difference. You see, it's half New York, half Mets. Half Yankees, half Mets. But despite his political correct choice, it took social media seconds to pounce on him anyway, with both Met fans and Yankee fans refusing to support the goodwill gesture. And he's saying, you're either with me or you're against me. Sports sometimes brings out the silliness in us all.
Yeah.
Adele is trending for calling out a fan in her concert. Let's take a look at what happened.
I want to tell that lady as well, can you stop filming me with a video camera, because I'm really here in real life. You can enjoy it in real life rather than see your
That's just great.
Watch it live. Watch it. Don't mess with Adele.
Even when she calls you out in front of so many people, she's so charming the way she does it.
She was, and that's great. That's really trending high. And by the way, don't mess with the cheetah. The Cincinnati Zoo recently attached a GoPro on the back of one of their cheetahs to give everyone a peek of what it's like to sprint at 75 miles an hour.
A little bumpy.
Little bumpy. Not for the cheetah,
nauseous.
more for the GoPro. And then there's this huge alligator taking its time on a golf course in Palmetto, Florida.
Lee,
could you imagine yourself out in the links running into this?
Yeah, if I'm running the other way. Sure.
Right. This is the definition of a real Gulf hazard.
Isn't
right?
that amazing?
All right. So you know the dating app that they call Tinder? You flip to the left, apparently, if you don't like something. You flip to the right. None of us here in the studio.
Clearly you're a huge fan of it.
I have no idea, but you've read about Tinder, right?
That was
you know
authentic.
about
Yeah,
this.
I've read about it.
Well, one guy took that and said, what if that was a superpower?
My life changed forever that day.
Drop the gun, no one gets hurt.
Not a chance.
What are you? We got 1073 in progress. I repeat, we've got a vigilante on our hands.
They call me Tinder. When I swipe left, people die.
When I swipe left, people die. There's a segment of our audience right now that are laughing hysterically at this.
Wait, and the other half is going, what's Tinder?
What is Tinder? What is Tinder? This, by the way, is from a production team called Rooster Teeth. Good job. You should see it. Very nice fake little movie that they made there.
Very funny.
That is the trend.
All right, very cool. Thanks, David. And still to come, telling his story, we've got an exclusive interview with the tow truck operator who managed to lift that big rig that dangled on the edge of the Cross Bronx Expressway yesterday.
Eyewitness News at 11.
We broke this online.
Faster.
Let's move the crew to Brooklyn.
Building left there.
Smarter.
That's where the brunt of the storm could be.
AC flooding.
Fatter.
Check this out. You got to see this.
Bill Ritter, Shante Bedrenois, Rob Power Sports, and Lee Goldberg's AccuWeather forecast. Channel 7 Eyewitness News at 11.
We begin with breaking news.
It's an all-new noon on Channel 7 with David Navarro, Shirley Nalicock, and meteorologist Bill Evans, bringing you breaking news.
Stunning video.
Big stories.
Caught on camera.
And the AccuWeather forecast.
Really heavy thunderstorms.
Eyewitness News at noon. New York's #1 news, only on Channel 7.
For this Memorial Day, Honda's celebrating the way Americans celebrate best, with pyrotechnics. Because when you can get a Honda for an incredible holiday deal, we think it's worthy of its own monument. Meet Melt Save More.
Get into KBB.com's best value brand at the Honda Memorial Day sales event.
Rely on. More speed, lower price. 15 meg internet, phone, Wi-Fi hotspot, and a free modem for $69.98 per month. Ask about a $200 Visa prepaid card. We've got a range of internet bundles that are just your speed.
Backed by customer support that works as hard as you do. And with a money-back guarantee, your decision is easy.
More speed, lower price. 15 meg internet, phone, Wi-Fi hotspot, and a free modem for $69.98 per month. Ask about a $200 Visa prepaid card. When your business needs fast solutions.
One call.
One call.
One call can make it possible.
Call today or visit us online to learn more.
My Jennings Power Reclining Sofa or Power Reclining Console Love Seat, only $6.99 each.
Recline with the touch of a button. Supreme support with Bobopedic memory foam seating.
Your choice, only $6.99 each. Only at My Bob's Discount Furniture.
Well, he's an unsung hero. You remember the dramatic pictures from yesterday, that big rig dangling over the Cross Bronx Expressway, tying up traffic for hours. Well, fortunately, the driver in that truck was not hurt and made it out safely.
Yeah, now we're hearing from that tow truck driver who had the difficult job of lifting the 1,000 pounds of steel and metal and bringing it back up there on the Cross Bronx Expressway. Eyewitness News reporter Kimberly Richardson has the exclusive interview. Kimberly.
Well, Dave, when they first got the call of a rolled-over semi partially hanging off this roadway, no one really thought much. But when Phil Blumenthal got here and saw what he was dealing like, he tells me he never saw anything like it. He came up with a plan and then got to work.
We got to trust each other because we're a team.
I'll call them the Spider-Men of the towing industry.
We reset up, put the chain to the hook, got it tight, and we're ready to go.
This is them in action yesterday with laser-sharp precision and nerves of steel. We watched as this team from Autorama Enterprises tackled a situation even they admit was, well, challenging. Have you ever seen anything like this?
No.
No, it's the first time.
In this exclusive interview,
The lines were entangled here, inside the wheel well.
Phil Blumenthal gave me a play-by-play how his team was able to successfully raise this roughly 30,000-pound big rig, which was hanging off an overpass on the Cross Bronx Expressway. I asked him about this nail-biting moment when his colleague, Guido, there in the orange shirt, was standing on top of a white minivan without a harness. The men had to get a chain around the back end of the truck.
I'm standing next to him because God forbid he slips, I'm going to grab a leg. So I just want to make sure he's confident in what he does, not be iffy about it. So then he saw, reassure him that you're okay. Let's just work it over. I'm up here with you. Let's work it over together. Basically, we'll work together, we get the job done.
Then here, all the truck was leaning on was that minivan and a heavily damaged side rail. When you're under the trailer of the truck, are you thinking this could fall on me at any moment?
No.
Because if you think that, game over.
Exactly.
And in the final stages, they raised the cab of the truck, which was leaking diesel fuel. We spotted smoke. Phil explains what was going on.
The batteries actually went on fire. But they were there ready, and the wire melted, and that was it.
Oh, and I was down below watching this all. It was nerve-wracking. Coming up later on Eyewitness News, more from this exclusive interview. We reconnect with the truck driver. See what Phil's team finds inside the semi. We'll have that for you coming up at 6. We're now live in the Bronx. Kimberly Richardson, Channel 7, Eyewitness News. He was under the truck.
There's a lot more to that job than people realize.
Wow.
Thank you, Kimberly. There's still more news ahead.
Eyewitness News at 5 begins right now.
Now, New York's #1 news. Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Developing right now, a tragic ending in the search for a fisherman who jumped into the Hudson River where swimming is not allowed. Plus, new video of the fight between a man police say tried to rape a woman in the Bronx and the woman's husband. The would-be rapist is dead. The husband expected to face a judge at any moment for killing him.
Attack, and then you can see the husband springing into action. He threatened my wife. Soft-spoken and gentle words from Mamadou Diallo as he is transported from the 42nd Precinct Tuesday afternoon in handcuffs. The 61-year-old is now charged with manslaughter for beating the man who tried to rape his wife to death.
His wife calling someone is in my house. If someone is in the house, he attack me, he fight me. I need call police, come and help me, please.
That assailant, police say, is 43-year-old convicted felon Earl Nash, seen in this surveillance video with his shirt off after the alleged attack. Diallo is spotted getting off the elevator. After his wife screams, "That's him, that's him," Diallo goes after Nash with a tire iron. This all started Monday night after 10 p.m. when police say Nash pushed his way into the Diallo's 6th-floor apartment on Washington Avenue in the Claremont section of the Bronx and attacked the 51-year-old woman inside. As she and a relative fought him off, she called her husband for help.
She said that she was saying whatever he wanted, she would give to him, but he just kept cursing and saying he didn't want nothing. He was just ripping her clothes and everything. Her clothes is off and I can't.
And hours before the attack, Nash was spotted lurking in the hallway and the elevator.
She was in the elevator with him. They came inside the elevator, and the guy was looking at him, touching himself inappropriately. That's what she said. He was touching himself appropriately, and she was scared.
Family and friends are even more upset to see the hard-working taxi driver charged with manslaughter. But from a legal standpoint, the self-defense is a challenge.
The police had to charge Diallo with the manslaughter case because the bottom line is the danger was already over.
Now, an autopsy has already been performed on Earl Nash. The cause of death has been ruled inconclusive at this point. So when he is arraigned, when Diallo is arraigned later on tonight, he may or may not be arraigned on manslaughter charges. That may be up to a grand jury at a later date. Reporting live in the Claremont section of the Bronx, Darla Miles, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Some breaking news, and it's going to have a big effect on the evening commute. You're looking at an overturned tractor trailer. This is on I-287 in Port Chester, very close to the I-95 connection there, right? Shannon Sohn and Newscopter 7 for us.
Yeah, that is exactly where it is. Couldn't have been worse timing. This guy toppled over about 2 hours ago, and you can see that he was carrying these huge rolls of paper that they have to offload before they're even able to upright the tractor trailer. So if you were planning on traveling west on 287 and you are currently on 95, either in Rye or even in Connecticut, this is what you have to look forward to. So what's happening here? This actually happened right underneath the Route 1 overpass, and it's literally just beyond where 287 starts. So we're going to bring you back and show you what the southbound traffic looks like on 95. This delay takes you back through Greenwich, and if you are on the northbound side of 95 coming up the NET, your delay takes you back through Rye, and unfortunately it doesn't look like this is going to be out of here before the rush hour ends. Reporting live over 287 in Portchester, Shannon Sohn, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Now to a developing story in Westchester County. A search is now underway to find a man missing in the Hudson River after going for a swim in an area known for rough currents. Police say the man jumped in the waters off Croton Point Park in an area where swimming is not allowed. Eyewitness News reporter Michelle Charlesworth is on the scene where the recovery is now underway. Michelle?
Well, we had just learned the name of the man for whom everyone has been looking all day desperately, Alex D'Souza, a 47-year-old man from Brooklyn. And the sad news is that they now believe that he has been a victim of drowning. The witnesses, the two men he was with, say that it was very clear the current in the Hudson River was something you could see. The current was churning. You could see it. He was with his cousin and his friend. And we just learned a little while ago the divers have been here for 5 hours. They have gone home, and this has now been changed to a recovery effort. One moment, all three anglers were fishing. The next, their friend was going in for a dip.
They saw him go under, and then they observed that he did not come back up.
Because of a number of issues, including strong currents in the Hudson River, swimming is never permitted right here.
His two friends observed him swim out a short distance and then go under, and he did not resurface.
Divers searched the water by boat and from the shoreline. This is the rocky outcropping from which the three friends, all in their 40s, were fishing. It's called Teller's Point. The men spent the night here, actually, just steps away in a Croton Point Park cabin.
We're trying to make that notification to his family now. We do know he is 47 years old and from Brooklyn.
Search and recovery boats are still out there on the Hudson River behind me. It's actually down a wooded path that goes down to the edge of the water. This is very shallow water back there, 4 feet to 10 feet deep. And again, the current is just so strong. They will continue looking for Alex D'Souza tonight until the sun goes down and continue a recovery mission tomorrow. We're live at Croton Point Park, Croton on Hudson. Michelle Charlesworth, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Michelle, thank you. We have new information tonight in a deadly single-car crash in Manhattan. The driver is now in police custody at the hospital, facing vehicular manslaughter charges. Police say 32-year-old Shiva Sharma was speeding overnight on 6th Avenue in Midtown when he lost control, jumped the curb, and slammed into a fire hydrant. A passenger in the vehicle, 33-year-old Juan Avila, died at the hospital, while Sharma is in critical condition.
The Brooklyn rapper known as Troy Ave is now being held without bail on an attempted murder charge for the deadly shooting at a T.I. concert in Manhattan. Troy Ave, whose real name is Roland Collins, pleaded not guilty yesterday. His attorney claims his client did not shoot himself or his bodyguard, Ronald McFadder. He says McFadder died trying to protect Collins. The attorney claims the NYPD only released a small portion of the video of the incident at Irving Plaza.
Jury deliberations are underway in New Jersey in the case of a man caught on a nanny cam beating a mother. This afternoon in court, the jurors asked to see the nanny cam video again. Prosecutors say it shows 45-year-old Sean Curtis beating the woman inside her home in Millburn back in 2013. The jurors also reviewed other evidence. Curtis denies that it is him in the video. And new at 5, the leak of a confidential document damaging to Mayor de Blasio was not politically motivated. That, according to the state inspector general. The document referred de Blasio's fundraising efforts to Manhattan DA's office for an investigation. The mayor claimed the leak was politically motivated, being released by an official close to Governor Cuomo. The state inspector said today it was actually released by a State Board of Election press officer. Just moments ago, the mayor said the State Board of Elections should apologize for releasing the report.
Donald Trump in town today responding to the growing outcry over funds that he raised for veterans. The fundraiser in Iowa, it brought in millions. But what happened to that money has been plaguing his campaign. So finally, some answers. Eyewitness News political reporter Dave Evans here now with more. Dave.
Well, Donna, I think this issue had the potential to become a big problem for Donald Trump. That's why he talked so much about it today. No politician wants to get on the wrong side of veterans.
Yeah, let's get the truth out right now. Why is
I think I've said what I want to say.
Veterans for Clinton and veterans for Trump clashed outside Trump Tower on Fifth Avenue today as Donald Trump Inside explained who got almost $6 million in donations for vets.
Green Beret Foundation, $350,000.
It all began about 4 months ago when Trump refused to participate in one Republican debate. Instead, he held a fundraiser that night for vets, claiming he collected $5.6 million, and $1 million of it his own money. But ever since, doubt, questions whether Trump ever really did what he claimed.
And instead of being like, thank you very much, Mr. Trump, or Trump did a good job, everyone say, who got it, who got it, who got it? And you make me look very bad. I have never received such bad publicity for doing such a good job.
At this point, I think what Trump doesn't seem to understand is it's not about $4, $5, $6 million. It's that he got caught lying about the amount of money that he raised for veterans.
The Clinton campaign today said nobody should be fooled by this stunt. Trump has shown veterans an incredible amount of disrespect. Trump today dismissed the vets outside as Clinton supporters. Many said, not true.
I voted for Bernie.
You're not a Hillary Clinton supporter.
I am not a Hillary Clinton supporter.
But him saying that shows what you think?
He is trying to discredit the veterans speaking out against him because he was caught trying to defraud the veteran community.
Here is the list.
Finally, vet groups are getting the money. As Trump said, no good deed goes unpunished.
I'm the only one in the world could raise almost $6 million for the veterans, have uniform applause by the veterans groups, and end up being criticized by the press.
And it was interesting today to see how quickly the Hillary Clinton campaign responded to Donald Trump about all this, especially on social media. Also, surrogates out in different swing states talking about it. The Clinton campaign has really been kind of stymied and frustrated over the last couple of weeks over its inability to go toe-to-toe with Trump on social media. For now, reporting live in Midtown, Dave Evans, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Okay, thanks, Dave. You mentioned the Clinton campaign. Hillary Clinton is kicking off a fundraiser in New York City right now. Immediately afterwards, she's going to head to another event, that one in New Brunswick. Clinton canceled another event, though, in New Jersey for later this week so she can focus on the critical state of California. Today, the state's governor, Jerry Brown, endorsed Clinton on his website. Meanwhile, fellow Democrat Bernie Sanders is continuing his California tour. Today, he made appearances at a health care conference and rally. Both New Jersey and California have their primaries next week.
A travel alert has been issued by the State Department to Americans going to Europe this summer. The government says tourist sites, restaurants, shopping centers, and sporting events are possible terror attack targets. And among them, the Tour de France, the European Soccer Championship, and Catholic Church's World Youth Day. U.S. citizens are being urged to stay vigilant when riding mass transit or going to public places. They should also be prepared for additional security.
And the last day of May, quite lovely. Let's check in with Lee to get the forecast. Lee?
All right, Diane, a couple of nice days coming up, building on the weekend momentum. Sunshine right now, and the humidity's a lot lower, mostly sunny, and we're about 80 degrees right now. Satellite is nice and clear, so nothing threatening the area. Beautiful evening with temperatures slowly dipping through the 70s, a little cooler along the coastline with the wind off the ocean. Here's the rain threat for the rest of the week, and you see how we're definitely focused on Friday and Sunday. Friday, some storms, and then Sunday, we'll see if that's a washout or not. Your 7-day AccuWeather forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Diana and Sade?
Okay, thank you, Lee. Well, absolute shock today by the amount of rain that has dumped on Texas recently. Torrential rain has pushed the Brazos River near Houston to a record high level of 54 feet. At least 6 deaths are blamed on the storm that dumped up to 20 inches of rain. 20 residents were trapped in the low-lying neighborhood when up to 3 feet of water rushed in. They had to be rescued by boat and helicopter.
A gas station owner shot and killed in Newark tonight. The mystery over why he was gunned down. Plus,
this is an alarming situation. We have to have very frank discussions with our children.
A renewed warning for parents and children about the foolish stunt that's leaving kids with serious burns.
And new details about abuse allegations against Johnny Depp. Well, police say they never found at Depp's home when first responding to a call there. Reporter Kristen Thorne live with the urgent plea from doctors. Kristen?
Diana, the warning about this game coming now from doctors here at Nassau University Medical Center. They have seen firsthand the damage it can cause.
We know that children sometimes can be led astray and do things that are harmful, but to set oneself on fire actually brings it to new levels of foolishness.
It's called the Fire Challenge. It involves showing off on social media how you douse yourself in rubbing alcohol, set yourself on fire, and hope you make it into a running shower in time.
These injuries at that temperature take place in less than a second.
Doctors issuing a warning to parents today to speak to their children about the obvious dangers of lighting yourself on fire.
This is an alarming situation. We have to have very frank discussions with our children.
Doctors at Nassau University Medical Center are treating a 12-year-old boy from Far Rockaway who just last week did the fire challenge. He ended up with second and third degree burns over most of his body.
He's underwent a very extensive reconstructive procedure last Friday. He's doing relatively well, but he was fighting for his life this weekend.
People say maybe the key is to not give these kids the attention they so desperately want.
I think they feel that if they get people to watch them, they'll do more. So don't feed into it. I think just ignore it and it'll go away.
The boy that's being treated here told doctors that he actually stumbled across the fire challenge when he was doing a YouTube search of a different challenge. He says when he saw the fire challenge, he decided he wanted to one-up his friends at school, and that's why he did it. We're live in East Meadow. I'm Kristen Thorne, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Okay, Kristen, thank you. President Obama is promoting hurricane preparedness on the day before hurricane season begins. The president visited FEMA headquarters in Washington, D.C. today. He said people in hurricane zones should have evacuation plans and readiness kits.
Government plays a vital role, but it is every citizen's responsibility to be prepared for a disaster.
U.S. government forecasters are expecting a near normal Atlantic hurricane season after 3 years with relatively little activity.
Except we're already on storm number C, right?
Yes, we had Bonnie, of course, over the holiday weekend, and not a big windstorm, but a huge rainstorm. Doesn't imply that it will be, all of a sudden above average, but, when you have years like last year with big El Nino coming out of that, a little concerned about this season. And our time to be concerned, especially on the East Coast, is later in August into September as things peak. There's a look at the 2016 hurricane forecast, typical season in the NOAA forecast. So, even a near normal season is worrisome, and of course, it only takes one. So something we'll be watching. I'm hoping that some of the Atlantic waters stay a little cooler than normal and suppress activity up here. We'll see. Meanwhile, we have hazy skies right now to mostly sunny skies. Our temperature just after 5 o'clock is at 80 degrees. Wind has been still, but has turned on shore, and the high today 85 degrees. So another day above average to end the month. A really nice finish to the month. 75 degrees is the average. There are your sunrise and sunset times. That's the big rain from yesterday. Obviously dry today. 82 degrees in Roslyn right now, yet Ronkonkoma at 77. Obviously the ocean cooling off Hampton Bays at 72. Inland numbers are in the middle 80s right now, but it's a drier heat as the humidity definitely has lessened, especially north and west with dew points in the 50s. But you notice it's still pretty sticky in Wrightstown, so the humidity and the moisture is just offshore, but thankfully it's going in the right direction, offshore and out to sea. 77 degrees during the early evening. At midnight should be mainly clear, just a few patchy clouds tomorrow, about 77 at noon, on our way to a high in the lower 80s. Satellite's really clear. I mean, you might have a few patchy high clouds during the day tomorrow. That's still the remnants of Bonnie, even though we got moisture with a tropical connection yesterday morning and in some places in the afternoon. The remnants of Bonnie, the circulation is still hovering and pouring on the Carolinas, but that's going to be suppressed to the south because this high is going to be our protection. The humidity will be on hold until Thursday, so will the moisture. Eventually, this will move away, and you see the stuff to the west and down the south. This will all converge on the tri-state area a little later in the week. But tomorrow should be mostly sunny and nice. The humidity still in check. The winds will eventually turn off the water a little bit more on Thursday. The humidity starts to creep up, but it's still pretty comfortable because we're in the 70s. One thing, if you look at this, a little bit more cloudiness mixed in on Thursday. And Friday's the day where this front comes in. We might hold off the rain till later in the day. It doesn't look like a washout in the morning, but a little concerned that it continues in the afternoon. So, clear and comfortable overnight. 50s well north and west. Most areas will be in the 60 to 65 range. Sunny and nice tomorrow. Low humidity. Call it mostly sunny south and west of New York City. Partly cloudy again tomorrow night and 61. Here's what we're working on for 5:30. Will the storms stay away all day Thursday into Friday morning? I think we have a decent chance of that. And how about the profile of the Friday rain? Will it be wetter in the northern suburbs? Maybe the southern suburbs get spared. We'll look at that scenario. And then, unfortunately, look soggy on Sunday. We'll get to the weekend forecast. But it's still Tuesday. A lot can change. Your 7-day AccuWeather forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Diana, back to you for now.
Thank you, Lee. A private military university in Vermont has agreed to change its uniform policy in order to allow a Muslim cadet to wear a hijab. Sanya Hamze made the request to Norwich University after she was accepted into its Corps of Cadets. Norwich officials deemed her request reasonable. Hamze was recently told by the Citadel, the historic military college in South Carolina, that it would not make an exception with its uniform rules.
Fleet Week sails off into the sunset for another year. The ships docked in Manhattan, Staten Island, and Brooklyn are all out back at sea. The last one left just a few hours ago, and this was the 28th annual Fleet Week. A disturbing story of getting a lot of reaction on ABC7 NY. What was found with 2 alligators in a Florida canal that has led to a big mystery. Also, new details on the death of that gorilla at the Cincinnati Zoo. We'll tell you what police are now focusing on. And traffic signs telling drivers to stay home from work. Why the prank isn't so funny to some.
He's not exactly who you might expect to be teaching gospel, but Eli Paperboy Reed leads young men in Harlem in song. I'm Lauren Glassberg with that story coming up.
Well, gospel music is a beautiful part of African American culture, and it's had a profound impact on all types of music and people. And that's particularly true when it comes to the music a teacher in Harlem you're about to meet. Eyewitness News reporter Lauren Glassberg has his story.
I know he will lift me up. Not the sounds you'd expect from a 32-year-old Jewish guy who grew up in Massachusetts, but Eli Paperboy Reed has been singing gospel since he started singing.
You can be a believer or a non-believer, and I think that the music can move you, and just from a purely musical standpoint, its importance is undeniable.
For 3 years now, he's been sharing his passion for this music with teenagers.
There it is.
Teaching gospel quartet classes at the Mama Foundation for the Arts in Harlem.
You would think that he was an unlikely guy for this program.
But Vi Higginson found her perfect quartet teacher in Eli.
He came and got on the piano and started to sing and play. And when he did that, I knew that he was almost sent by divine order.
His students agree.
I was kind of skeptical. I was like, hold on, how is one guy like teaching like gospel music? And after like the first rehearsal, I was like, all right, we're gonna be friends forever.
Everything we learn here is very inspiring and uplifting, and it makes, when we leave here, we feel energized and revived and, you know, reborn.
And Eli feels that too. When he and Warner Brothers parted ways, teaching buoyed him, and gospel makes its way into his newest album, due out June 10th. He will go on tour, but will continue to make time for these young men.
I want it to be a place that they look forward to come and enjoy themselves and be able to let loose. I mean, it's hard being a teenager, right?
In Harlem, Lauren Glassberg, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
A murder mystery, a gas station owner found dead. Tonight, new details on the shooting as close friends remember the hard-working man. Plus, our escapes from his kidnappers and an urgent warning from a doctor in Harlem about the Zika virus. And he spoke with the victim's close friends. He's in Newark for us right now. Anthony?
Well, ever since we've been here, a lot of people have been pulling up to the gas station, expressing a whole lot of sadness today. One person actually came up and left some plastic roses on the front of this location, which has been shut down all day. Now, authorities have been cautioning us about calling yesterday's shooting a robbery, and some are now suggesting this could have been a biased crowd. A close friend of the victim shared this photo of Devinder Singh, describing him as being a hard worker and devoted to his family. The shooting took place Monday afternoon when there were no customers in the gas station. A neighbor heard the shot and ran outside to help.
I just left from over. That's why I'm trying to say it was happening so fast. I walked in my house and the gunshot, I just heard, you know what I'm saying? And I said, no, those firecrackers. And his brother came out, somebody helped me screaming and stuff.
Folks in this area fondly call the victim David and say he often had kind words and pleasant greetings.
Hey, Mr. David, happy nice day. Thank you, same to you. Be happy and I close real soon.
The victim was standing approximately here when he was approached by the gunman. Authorities hope to use the cameras right on the shop to help them find the suspect.
He have a house. He's close to me over there, same town of the Islam. Yeah, the same church. He's a nice person, a good guy.
The station was closed for the day, but several customers stopped by to express shock and anger. The owner of the gas station next door says many business owners are worried about gun violence in this area.
The gas station in Newark is a very tough business because you're having cash involved. You know, and that's Newark. The crime rate is high, unfortunately.
Now, one person did say they saw the gunman running up the street here on West Market, getting away shortly after 4:30 in the afternoon. Police say they don't have any suspects under arrest, but they do have some very good leads. That is the latest live from Newark. Anthony Johnson, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Anthony. Charged tonight in a fatal drunk driving accident in New Jersey. Prosecutors say 22-year-old Christine Coe was under the influence of alcohol when she struck and killed an 88-year-old pedestrian in Fort Lee on Sunday. Coe is charged with reckless driving, DUI, and having an open or unsealed alcohol container in her car.
New details on the killing of a gorilla at a zoo in Ohio. Just in the last hour, the Cincinnati police released a statement saying they are closely reviewing the case. A 4-year-old boy climbed over a barrier and fell into the Gorilla World exhibit at the zoo on Saturday. Zoo officials decided to shoot and kill the 17-year-old silverback gorilla named Harambe in order to protect the boy. Animal rights activists say the exhibit was not safe and secure.
It's really very simple. If there was an adequate public barrier on the gorilla facility, we would not be standing here.
A federal inspection just 2 months ago found no problems with the exhibit. Now a federal investigation is planned. Diana?
The MTA is moving ahead with testing new safety technology on its buses. The MTA is launching full pilot programs after trying the systems on just a few buses. One sensor system, and it's going to go on 200 buses, aims to protect pedestrians, warning people on the street when a bus is turning. Another new technology, and this will be on 100 buses, tries to prevent collisions, alerting drivers of vehicles and people ahead. This pilot program, both of them, will run through 2017. The U.S. Supreme Court has rejected a challenge by casino workers in a case against Taj Mahal in Atlantic City. The union was seeking to restore health benefits for more than 1,000 workers. The company, Trump Entertainment Resorts, filed for bankruptcy back in 2014. A judge approved a plan to end insurance and pension benefits for unionized workers. Instead, the company gave workers cash to purchase insurance under the Affordable Care Act. Billionaire Carl Icahn took control over the resort in March. He says that he will withdraw financial support if benefits are upheld. And a politically partisan hacker taking aim at those electronic road signs. This happening in Texas. At least 4 signs along an interstate in Dallas were hacked overnight. One sign read, "Bernie for president." Another sign said, "Donald Trump is a shape-shifting lizard."
It's not really a laughing matter. I mean, you know, we're talking about a serious issue that could cause very serious problems if traffic does not get the messages.
The company that owns the sign says it is investigating the hacking incident.
Well, President Obama today honored the men's NCAA champions at the White House. Villanova University's men's basketball team presented the president with his own jersey. There it is. The president said Villanova's win against powerhouse North Carolina may be the best title game of all time.
On a play called Nova, Chris took a pass from Arch and pulled up a few steps behind the line and shot this team into basketball lore. That was a good shot. You know, it was like a Christian Laettner shot.
The president says the Villanova Wildcats possessed attitude, which helped the team bounce back from it.
New at 5, a disturbing discovery. Alligators, 2 of them found eating human remains. So where did that body come from?
And see the outfit that one woman says got her kicked off of a plane.
And I'm meteorologist Lee Goldberg. Beautiful on the west side this afternoon, all across the area with a bunch of sunshine, low humidity, and temperature right now around 80 degrees. Stepping out this evening will be mostly clear and comfy, about 77. And your active weather days this week, they're depicted in red. Looks like we have to track some storms on Friday and then, unfortunately, second half of the weekend. 7-day AccuWeather forecast is next on Eyewitness News at 5.
And faces up to 15 years in prison. The crash last year killed NYPD Detective Paul Duncan. Prosecutors say Moriano was drunk and high when he drove the wrong way on the Springbrook Parkway and slammed head-on into Duncan's vehicle.
A gruesome discovery in the Florida Everglades, a pair of alligators eating the remains of a human body. It's a super popular story at ABC 7 NY. Investigators say it appears the body had been there for a while. Police say the officers were able to scare the gators away, but the 2 gators, they lingered as officers tried to recover the remains. It's not clear at this time how the person died or even if the victim is a man or a woman.
A New Jersey native who played a cop on TV is now a convicted killer. Jury today convicted Michael Jace of second-degree murder in Los Angeles. Prosecutors say Jace shot his wife in the back and then taunted her before shooting her in both legs. Part of the shooting was witnessed by their young sons. Jace, who is originally from Patterson, used to appear in the television series The Shield. He faces up to life in prison. Meanwhile, we're learning more about a kidnapped soccer star. It's seen that he went from victim to being his own hero. Alan Pudio was taken after a party over the weekend in Mexico. About 24 hours into the kidnapping, he manages to take the gun and a cell phone from a captor. After calling Mexico's emergency line, he could be heard threatening and apparently beating the captor into revealing where they are. Police found him and freed him a short time later.
Surgeons say it could be up to 2 weeks before they know whether a woman who was bitten by a shark out in California will actually regain the use of one of her arms. The victim has been identified as 52-year-old Maria Corsmaros. The mother of 3 was training for the Ironman triathlon when she was attacked near Corona del Mar State Beach on Sunday. Surgeons say her wound was one of the worst they've ever seen.
It involves the upper posterior chest, involving the ribs up here. The part of the arm that's involved is up by the shoulder, and it goes all the way down to the part of the buttock and involves the pelvis down there as well.
She is expected to survive. The beach where she was attacked remains closed.
JetBlue is apologizing to a burlesque dancer who was denied access to a flight until she changed her clothes. Maggie McMuffin, that's her stage name, says the airline told her to change or she couldn't take the flight. She was trying to board wearing striped shorts the pilot decided was inappropriate and possibly offensive to other passengers. McMuffin ran through the terminal and bought a less revealing outfit. She claims the airline stripped her of her dignity.
I would say body shaming and slut shaming more than outright sexism, but it is really hard to remove those 2 things from misogyny.
JetBlue apologized to the woman and offered her a voucher for her experience. She wants the airline to make pilots go through sensitivity training.
New details today on the divorce of actors Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, who is now coming to Depp's defense in what police did not find at their home.
And the new Hudson Yards opened today. Find out which major company just moved in to their new home.
Great to see you on a Tuesday night. In the breaking news tonight, the deadly shooting rampage, the young Army sergeant opening fire. We've now learned 212 rounds, police talking a short time ago. And the child and the gorilla with the Cincinnati police have now revealed. We'll see you after Eyewitness News at 6, right here at 6.